Owl.
One night, Borom, on returning from hunting, arrived at a deserted village on his way back. An owl had made its nest on the ruins of that village. The sound of the owl could be heard in the empty village, and another owl was responding to its call. Borom told his companions, "I wanted to know what secret these birds are discussing with each other." A priest was with Borom and said, "O King of the Seven Kingdoms, God has granted me the gift of being the interpreter of the speech of birds and animals." Borom became curious and asked the priest to interpret the conversation of the two birds for him. The priest said, "One of these owls is male and the other is female. The male owl is saying to the female owl, 'O beautiful bird, I love you and want you to be my mate. Bring many offspring for me so that my lineage may continue in this world.' But the female owl has a condition for this union." Borom asked, "What is the condition of the female owl?" The priest replied, "The female owl has conditioned that if the male owl gives her 20 ruins, she will marry him." Borom asked, "What does the male owl say? Will he agree to this excess?" The priest said, "The male owl says if this king remains on the throne of rule, I will forgive you 1,000 ruins, on the condition that you tell me what 1,000 ruined villages mean to you." The female owl said, "When we share a nest, we will have many chicks and our generation will increase, and each one will need a ruined village." Borom asked, "What was the last word of the male owl that he said?" The priest said, "He prayed to God that the kingdom of the king would be everlasting and increase the ruins." Borom was affected by hearing these words and said, "Your metaphor made me worried and reminded me to strive for the prosperity of my land and not to be negligent." The priest said, "What I said to you in metaphor is a bitter description of the daily struggles of the people of this land." Borom said, "I wished you would speak without riddles and not be afraid." The priest said, "O king, the fertile lands have been taken from skilled farmers and handed over to unskilled individuals who work lazily in agriculture, leading to the destruction of villages, and crops not bearing fruit in spring and summer. Because these people are profit seekers, a land without agriculture, an effort will remain without revenue, and a kingdom without revenue will be empty of treasure. Your relatives, who have become village owners without paying taxes, do not pay land taxes, and the hard-working ones are burdened with excessive taxes, their bones are broken, they abandon the land, flee from the tyranny of your agents and seek refuge in unknown lands. As a result, villages are destroyed, wells and water channels dry up, lands turn into deserts, taxes decrease, and the army is not left for defense, and foreign kings covet the land of Iran, because the foundations of the country have collapsed due to laziness and neglect." Borom listened to the words of the priest, and was deeply lost in thought, pondering how he could revive this land and keep the oppressors away from violating the rights of the people. Shepherd. Borom became restless, with all the turmoil in the kingdom, and decided to go hunting alone on horseback, to regain his spirits, and perhaps clear his mind. So he started hunting, reminiscing about his youth, and when he went hunting for lions, deer, and leopards, he regained his spirits. He seemed no longer sad. So he decided to return home, but he had become thirsty from all the exertion he had done that day. He searched everywhere, but did not find a spring to quench his thirst. As the moon rose in the sky, he saw smoke like a black dragon rising in the distance. He thought to himself, "Surely, whoever lit this fire must have water with them to quench my thirst." So as soon as he went towards the smoke, he saw a large tent set up and the area around the tent filled with a flock of sheep. Next to the tent, he saw a dog hanging from a tree branch, seemingly lifeless, with its limbs motionless and stiff like a rock. He went towards the tent and saw an old man sitting there, kind and hospitable. When the old man saw Borom, got up and greeted the rider, taking the horse's reins so Borom could dismount and receive hospitality from him. The shepherd presented all the food he had in his tent and placed it in front of his guest, saying, "I know this food is not worthy of you. But please forgive me, as this place is far from all the villages, and it is not possible to get better food here." The king, seeing the dry pieces of bread, preferred to drink some water and then said, "I only eat bread and drink when you give me the right answer to what I ask. Tell me why this dog is hanging from the tree. This lion should protect the tent and herd from wolves." The old man replied, "O young man, I will tell you all that has happened in detail. This dog was the guardian of my herd, and I had entrusted him with the task of taking care of the sheep. I was happy to have a loyal and trustworthy dog, and I loved him very much as my companion. He guarded my herd from thieves and wolves for years. He was like an iron arm for me, and I considered him not just a sheepdog, but a companion. If I went from the plain to the city one day, why would I give this sheepdog away? And if my stay in the city was long, he would return the herd to the camp." The shepherd added, "For several years, he protected my flock so well. Until one day, I counted my sheep and realized that their number had decreased by 7. At first, I thought I had miscounted. But when I counted them again, and saw that their number had indeed decreased, I became a little scared. For a while, I spent my days watching closely to see why the number of sheep was decreasing. At night, this dog would guard the flock, and when I counted the flock again after some time, I saw that their number had decreased once more from the previous count. Despite being a shepherd with a large flock, I had now become a shepherd with a small flock. I thought to myself, where is this theft or wolf intrusion into the flock coming from? As with this dog guarding the flock like a lion, no one should be able to steal the sheep. Until one day, I was lying by a blue river. Suddenly I woke up and saw a swift she-wolf approaching from a distance, and my dog from the herd went to her and knelt before her. The wolf wagged her tail and the dog affectionately wagged his tail back, and eventually the dog sat on the wolf to mate with her. After the wolf gave her bribe to the dog, she expected a reward. The horned sheepdog separated a fat sheep from the herd and threw it at the feet of the wolf. The wolf immediately devoured the sheep in one breath, and it was clear that she had received such bribes from the dog before. The cursed dog, to satisfy his lust, pretended to feed the herd of sheep to the wolf. So I said to myself, maybe this dog made a mistake this time, and I should overlook his mistake in return for his years of service. But he continued this betrayal several times, and I waited each time, until finally my patience ran out and I punished the dog and the wolf like this, and anyone who does not confront criminals, indeed, no one will admire him. From a story that a shepherd told Borom, he learned a great lesson, and was amazed by his work, thinking that he must learn the lesson of managing royal affairs from this old shepherd. He said to himself, in the real world, I am like a shepherd to my flock and the people of the land are like sheep. When the foundation of the work is not right, and those responsible for managing the country betray their duty, nothing remains of my country and kingdom. When Borom came to the city, he ordered to prepare a list of prisoners and report to him. When the report of the prisoners reached him, he saw a long list of criminals. It seemed like all the people of the world were imprisoned. The king said to himself, what kind of governance is this? It's as if a thief is in our own house. When the dog takes the flock to the wolf's den, what will the other shepherds do? So he decided to send the corrupt minister to prison for a few days to dispel the people's fear of him, so that they could testify about him in court. Otherwise no one would dare to expose the minister's crimes.